Alright, welcome back. This is game 3 in the impromptu show match between Nina and Yoru. That was happening on patch eve as we wait for the patches to launch and for us to know what the new meta is going to be, or at least try out some of the new changes. We're not expecting big, massive changes in this patch, of course. We're just expecting maybe some fixes to some of the things that stand out as a little bit out of place. I'm having not played very many games on this patch. I'm not really super sure what those are, but just listening to the chatter that I've heard, that might be some Weaver changes. Weavers might be just a wee bit too good. Again, I haven't really used them as much in my game, so I'm not sure if that's the case. And honestly, I don't know what other changes we might end up seeing. Texan getting all the way into the back of the base, then zooting herself back. And it looks like Conclave Vault, who gaunts to start the creeping. Gaunts are now a little bit better at creeping with their increased DPS and their ability to stand in the back. Underrated ability. They are a little bit easier to creep with. And we see that Hexen doing a lot of the tanking there, although we got another Fiend also doing a bit of the tanking, so not quite as much micro needed. When the Brute showed up, it was, well, a little late in the sense of not on time to participate in that battle. And we see Nina doing a pretty standard expand opening, going for her vectors from her Starforge, and an Ascension Matrix as well. I believe that's just to do the upgrades for the vector, in particular the recall upgrade. I'm not sure if there are any other upgrades for the vector. Creeping again on Nina's side of the map. I think we saw this same strategy before. Since the Celestial's slower to get out the tech that Nina's chosen, Yoru's able to, and now Yoru's going to be a little bit aggressive. Sovereign's Watch going down, and that's kind of, I mean, it's hard for me to exactly say, but the Sovereign's Watch went down, cost power, and then we saw Nina put down another power bank, which cost Luminite. So does that mean that harass cost Luminite? I think so. I think that's how it works. And now more creeping on Nina's side of the map. But Nina's got 3 vectors and really good control. So let's see what she can do with it. One Gaunt going down, another one going down, a Fiend going down, and then blinking away. Now another Brute looks like it's going to go down. Some Fiend, one Fiend with it. And now these vectors with the 4th one joining them. Take the healing camp and probably soak up in those juices for a few minutes or for a moment or two to heal up, especially that weak vector. Oh, and here comes a 5th one, turning into a little tiny strike force that can probably do a little harass damage now. I like this, splitting off the fully healed one to get out on the map again. Maybe take that tower. And yeah, there we go. Yeah, you don't usually want to leave your opponent's vision on the map, especially if you have map control with the composition that you're currently rocking. And at this point of the game, we're just at the end of the early game and maybe pushing into that mid game. It's the vectors who have the control. Although this army from Yoru is at least big enough to be like, if the vectors come, I can posture a bit, push into them a bit, and tell them to use their speedy ability to skirt away. But right now the vectors are looking like they want to come in and maybe poach some kills right on top of the Gaunts, taking out 3 right away, and then recalling back in kind of an awkward pattern. That might have been the bug that I heard about the control. Taking out the effigy. That was loud in my headphones, so it's probably loud for you too. And we have linking up onto the high ground, trying to take out a farm. We got a recall for one of our vectors. And now the other 5 want to try and get some more kills and snipe a few Gaunts. Now they rotate around into the natural and take out a farm that was being built, or maybe it was cancelled. I don't see Imp Blood down there, so I imagine that was taken out. Looks like it exploded. Exploded in Hellfire or something. We have Ritual Chamber coming up, and that was the farm that died that's going back down. And these vectors going up to steal the healing camp and getting more passive healing as well as active healing while they sit there. What's this? We got another vault going down for additional production. We had this Hell Forge, and I can't tell if they're upgraded. Very likely that they are. And trying to chase the vectors back. They're in the healing camp, which is always annoying. And now, once again, Delta jumping on top of the Fiends. I didn't quite see if they are on the Gaunts, I should say. I'm not sure if they got one before they recalled away. And trying to just take advantage of that speed to force Yoru to chase her around. Trying to, again, get some damage on the natural, but a Summon Shroud Stone chases her away. And maybe just, again, rotating around. Capture the tower. Get that vision. And then what? Rotate back, or... soaking in those vision juices. I'm not sure if it works that way, but... they're heading back over here to which is the 3rd that Yoru's trying to establish, and unfortunately getting beat down by these vectors. The infernal reinforcements are not going to make it in time. The Imp, luckily there was the cancel. The Imp did not get away, but at least there was a cancel. And creeping the health camp while getting creeped upon by this infernal army, and that's kind of a growing army. The vectors definitely can't toe-to-toe with that. But they blink right back and try and steal it back, but no, the army comes back and says, get out of here. Buzz off already. I got a big army. Ooh, very nice micro from both of them. We have a Nightfall Infestation, yeah, that's what it's called, going down, which costs a slow, and then a Purify. Although only one vector sort of living to tell the tale. Well, except there's this vector. Quality of life for this unit is abysmal. I can imagine. Wake up in the morning, you kiss your little triangle children goodbye. You say, I'm off to work at the teleporting triangle factory again. I'm like, no, I hear the unit control is abysmal. That's right. Ina wrote a report about it. Oh, here we go. A nice battle. And I do hear that it is bugged out right now, so hopefully that's going to be fixed in the upcoming patch. And now these vectors, wow. Is that a recall or delta jump? I think that was a recall back to their initial position. And again, I think if that bug gets fixed, what we're going to see is that these vectors are going to be even more useful, because they're actually doing a really good job of getting on top of this army, killing the Gaunts, which is what they're good at. and then getting out of there without taking any casualties, or maybe minor casualties. And ooh, there's a casualty of a misrallied unit. But it seems like they are just tanky enough that if they blink right on top of the brutes and everything like they do here, that they don't, you know, they're not getting taken out by those brute swings, which can be pretty damaging. The brutes don't get to do their attack very often, but when they do, it's actually a pretty bad one to get in the way of. Now these vectors trying to get, you know, cost-effective trades by blinking in and out, swapping out the targets from a lot of these brutes. There's just so many infernal units here. The brutes, the gaunts, just a handful of them taking out that collection array over there. A purify going down. I think that's to take away the infest. But wow, having to blink away the vectors, just outnumbered by that army of the infernals. Blast nodes out front here, trying to take out some of these units. More blast nodes in the back firing now. And this small infernal army is attacking into a pretty well-defended celestial base. And yeah, Yoru decides, okay, I'm going to back off. I lost a few brutes, and honestly, that's what they're there for. But I'm not here to just delete my whole army trying to attack into blast nodes. Instead, turning out in the open to fight the vectors, saying if you really want to go toe-to-toe, let's do it out in the open. Of course, the vectors are like, no. That's what that static D there is there for. I want you to attack into it so I can get that defender's advantage. Healing up to at the healing tower, and looks like the energy tower is being taken out by Yoru. And maybe another little clash of the bases up here. No, it's a vector, a scout vector. Thought it might be a prism. Or a morph core or something, saying, hey, I want this base. And the army from Yoru is now moving across the map, and it is not quite at the same supply. And again, we got this delta jump on top of the gaunts, taking out a handful of gaunts. Look at all those little gaunt corpses down there. Another couple brutes going down. And the speedy little units are just skirting right past this army and taking out as many of the units as they can. And now just jumping right on top of the weavers. And again, the weavers taking the bonus damage. A nice blink micro basically to recall them back to their original places. Two of them go down thanks to the lashes. Well, it was a good little skirmish battle. But Nina decides I don't want to lose all my vectors up there. So let's blink back, maybe heal up a bit, go get this tower again, and we'll live to fight another day. Vectors come across the map now. Oh, the prism scouted. Oh yeah, there was that vector up there. Now the Shroud Stone looks like it'll go down pretty easy. Oh, one vector. I think that's the control bug for sure there that they're talking about. One vector left behind. And now we have the army of Yoru coming in to kick them out. And again, a pretty standard play these days now is to, on your way out, attack the creeps so that your opponent is now forced to fight creeps. Which, I mean, not all bad. You get the income and whatnot, but in some cases that's enough to get a lot of casualties on your opponent's army. The vector's going all the way back to their health camp now. And this big old army, it looks like, yeah, it's mostly brutes and gaunts. A couple weavers here. More weavers. And a Meg. How's that Meg doing? No upgrades. No Demon Hoof. No Raging Tendrils. Okay. One Mag. What's the Mag for? It's not clear. Sometimes I build one just to clear out trees, and there's these middle bases here. Looks like there's already a bunch of prisms mining them. That's not good. That's not ideal. 2 Harbingers. I like this. I've seen this in a few other streamers play. In particular, Theory. And Dutchy's been using it as well. And do they have anything in them? No. I think they're just for the stun ability. If they're upgraded, that is. And for the Shrap. This is ooh, very interesting play. Kind of baiting the army away, or at least half the army, and then recalling back on top of the rest. Able to snipe a Weaver or 2, as well as some other units. And these again heading back. Very nice play. Nina lamenting these units and their control, but then giving us a crash course on how to use them. Very beautiful. Which is very much like Blink Stalkers, like I mentioned, but Blink Stalkers don't have a range like that, or I'm unable to do that. This base going down, unable to blink so far, that is back to where they began. These vectors now trying to take up some stragglers. Well, this base was sacrificed. The army of Yoru is going to keep pushing into the natural, while these vectors are just trying to be annoying and maybe lure it away and try and get that attention off of the main. But you know, slowly but surely pushing into the natural. We're going to start seeing Star Forges going down. We see a Saber going down. Oh, an Animaster going down. Still a lot of Blast Nodes here, which do massive damage to Infernal units. And they're not taken out. And now we got some Dark Prophecies from these Animasters in the back. A couple of them getting pulled into their own Dark Prophecies. They're like, no, that was the Dark Prophecy. I assume that's what they say and what they sound like. Because now I just hear them going, oh, I'm dead. And they're dead. And this base is starting to go down. One Scythe out here fighting it off. Meanwhile, these Vectors, which did a pretty good harass out here, are also being chased away by Fiends. This natural Nina is about to go down. And while these Vectors are trying to hide in the back with the safety of that Blast Node on the high ground, a lot of Prisms over here trying to get that income. We got Shadow Flyers over here. Oh! And that's what Shadow Flyers are for, next to a mine like that, is to take out those Prisms. This is good game. This is good game. They've left the game. Alright, thanks a lot for watching. Stay tuned for more Stormgate content.